to the Tournament Expert Tutorials. In this tutorial, we're going to focus on the Type Ahead Lookup function. The Type Ahead Lookup function is used to enter a portion of a player's name and to have that name then be available in a list where we can select it, and it flows all of the information about that player into our player list. As an example, I would like to enter George Washington's name into our system. I start to type his name, and in the lookup list it goes directly to his name. I tap the enter key, and all of his information flows from the list, from that underlying list that we have, into the player list. Let's do Thomas Jefferson's name. I'm going to type JEF, and notice that it moved past J for Jackson to E for Jefferson, and now when I tap the enter key it flows all of Thomas Jefferson's information in. So what would happen if I start to type a name that's not in the list? So I'm going to type in a name called Worthington. So I'm going to type W-O-R, and notice that it now has flipped from what it was before, which was the history lookup, and now it is the direct lookup, because we have moved into automatically into direct mode because you're entering a name, or the person is entering a name that is not in the list. So I'll go ahead and complete that. Let's type Worthington and first name of Lewis. Just make that up, and we'll give him an index of 12.5, and we'll make him from Ohio. All right, with a member number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1. Okay, so now we have that information. Notice that as soon as I move away from this row, that we will move back into the history lookup, and so I can look up either based on last name, first name, or I can even look up based on member number. So if I start to type a member number, then it gives me a list of players in member number order, and then I could select the player that I want, double click, and that player's information flows into our system. So you can either select by doing a enter key or by clicking on the player name. Now there will be times when you might be entering information and the system just can't keep up with you because you're a fast typist. So we have a setting for that. Under the edit command, go all the way down to options, and then in the program options dialog, select program defaults. There's a couple of options under lookup list. We'll come back to this one in a moment. Click on enable fast type ahead lookup, and the system then will keep up with you a little bit better than it does if this is not selected. The other option is exclude players in player list from lookup. I'm going to turn that on for right now to show you how that functions. So I'm going to click OK, and now notice that we have George Washington in the list. So I'm going to click on Monroe, tap the enter key to create a new row, and now as I start to type Washington, he's not there because he's already in the list, so he's not available in the lookup list. This is a way of making sure that you don't have duplicates in the list. So you can turn that on and off depending on the needs of that tournament. So in this case, I didn't find it, so I'm going to tap the escape key to get out. And let me show you now just some of the sort of what happens in our lookup list and what options you have with the lookup list. So I just actually clicked on lookup history. That's one way to get to the input selection screen. Another way to get to the input selection screen is to go to edit and select lookup. Same place. In our lookup screen, these are ways of pointing to underlying databases for different handicap systems. If your facility is a member of an association that utilizes GEN, then you would select GEN as your lookup, and then when you click OK, GEN becomes your lookup. And when you start to type into the lookup list, then it will look for players, your members, that have been downloaded from GEN into this GEN table that we keep as an underlying table. Let's say that you are from Canada, a course in Canada and you use Golf Canada. So you would select Golf Canada, click OK, Golf Canada, the RCGA becomes your lookup. And so now when you are typing in the lookup list, you would actually be getting players who are your members that have been downloaded from Golf Canada into the underlying table that we keep for that purpose. And so the others that we have are we have GolfNet, Golf Software, GAM, Gensis, Meritsoft. And so we can also, the one that I was using is the history lookup list. And this is not associated with a handicap system. It's just a list of any player that's in any tournament that has been saved. So it just keeps adding to those, and it looks, when it looks through the list, it won't duplicate players. If there's a player already in with that name, then that name will not be duplicated in the lookup history list, but that becomes available to us. So that is the Type Ahead Lookup function. And so thank you for watching, and see you in another tutorial.